Highway. We left home around 6 a.m. and we are headed to Vancouver, BC. Currently on autopilot, approaching Golden. Currently the drive is pretty much uneventful. I plan to take this drive in around 12 hours. So we left at 6 a.m. We would want to arrive around 6 p.m. Alberta time or 5 p.m. British Columbia time. The total drive is 1,017 kilometers. And we are doing a few stops. First stop is at Golden, BC. We skipped Canmore, Alberta, because the weather is warm enough. We don't need the extra range. And right now it's projected we'll arrive in Golden with around 11% range. The next stop after that will be Revelstoke, then Kamloops, and most likely we'll do a stop in Merritt, BC, and finally after Merritt, we'll see if we can skip Hope and go straight to the other one. I think that's Abbotsford. So there is a short 10 to 15 minute delay here due to construction. You know, in Canada, there's only 2 seasons, winter and construction. Looks like we're going now, but just wanted to show that we are estimated to arrive with 11% battery range. We left home with around 90%. This was the Model 3 that passed us earlier. Now the Golden Supercharger. What we're gonna do is we're gonna plug in and head to the McDonald's. There you go. So since the last charge we did, that was just 285 kilometers to 10 watt hours per kilometer, and 3 hours 20 minutes. That's the first leg of our trip. Currently have 51% charge, and our next stop is Revelstoke. So let's click continue trip. Let's see how much buffer we have. We have 12% buffer. I'm gonna unplug this baby and we're good to go. Just arrived at Revelstoke, British Columbia at the Supercharger here at the Best Western Hotel. So we have 11% charge, just as predicted. Right, let's plug her in. Oh, it predicted 12? Okay, so we have 11% right now, and we just need to get to the next supercharger, which is in Kamloops, BC. So let's just click continue trip here. It's estimating we need to charge for 45 minutes. I don't think we need that full 45 minutes, but we just need to make 213 kilometers. Okay, let's talk briefly about supercharging. So the technique is to operate at the lower end of this battery charging, and here's the Model 3 that we encountered in Golden. So we arrived here ahead of them, even though they probably drove faster. We charged a little less, and we stayed in the lower part of our battery, so it charges faster in the lower end of the spectrum. However, now it's not charging fast. Earlier we reached a peak speed of 142 kilowatts, 141, equivalent to 705 kilometers per hour of charging. So now it's ramping up. We should expect to see a higher charge speed, peaking around 25-30% at over 100 kilowatts, which should be around 500 plus kilometers per hour, and then tapering down. So it looks like the speed is ramping up a bit. So what I like to do on trips like this in the summertime, or times when temperatures are warmer, I like to stay in the lower end here. So do not charge above like 80%, because above 80% it's really slow. So like earlier I left with 51-52%. So that means I only charged up to here, and then went, and then see, the supercharging speed is ramping up. It's now over 100 kilowatts, so it should become faster. Earlier I charged up to 51-52% and then drained it down to 11%. So that's the ideal range you'd like to be, because you want to maximize the time on the faster supercharging speeds. The newer Model 3s, Model Ys, and probably the newer model Tesla Model S and X's, they charge all the way up to 250 kilowatts, which they sustain probably around up to the same place, probably 30%, 40%, and then it tapers down to a slower supercharging speed. Alright, we now have 70% range, so we should have more than enough to get to Kamloops. So right now it says we're going to arrive at 5% battery charge remaining. However, I know for a fact that it was at 3% when the range was displaying 58%. So I'm actually predicting that we are going to arrive with 10% range. So we're going to head now to Kamloops, BC. Unplug. All right.
It's having a 5%.
Pin to drive. I won't show you my pin. You're nervous, love? No, I'm not nervous. Okay, let's go. Looks like there is another delay. So yeah, lots of the Trans-Canada Highway has the 2 lanes down to 1, so it's alternating traffic. So let's see how long it will take for us to get through, but I don't think we will make it in our targeted 12-hour time duration. So I think it will take slightly longer due to all these delays and what's that?
Construction stops.
Yeah, construction stops. So probably it would be 13 hours or so, 13-14 hours, I guess. But anyway, we left early, and 6 a.m. Mountain Time. So 13 hours is still 6 p.m. Pacific time. So that's still okay. That's still lots of daylight for us. I'm check into our hotel and get some dinner. So it looks like it's moving now. Okay, let's continue. Just a little drive-through stop over here, Sycamus A&W. Grabbed some Beyond Meat burgers. Alright. Thank you. Everything? Yep, this is everything. Alright. Okay. Let's go. We hit Salmon Arm, BC, and guess what? Yet another construction delay. What I really like about this drive is that you see the changing landscapes, you know? You're driving from the prairies in Calgary and over the Rocky Mountains, Golden, and then you go to Revelstoke, where you see more beautiful mountains, and then you transition over to Kamloops, where you're in a valley and there's lots of hills around you and still some mountains, and then you climb up mountains again. So it's not a boring drive. So that's what I like about it. Just made it to Kamloops, BC. I predicted that we will arrive with 10%. However, we arrived with 7%. So, yeah, close enough. I sped closer to the end. I went a little faster as we needed to go to the bathroom. So, let's charge her up. State of charge right now we have at 59%. Should be more than enough to get us to Merritt for a quick top up before we get to Hope, BC. Or maybe after Merritt we'll skip right to Abbotsford. We'll see. That is one sweet looking Model Y. Okay, so we're going to attempt to make it now to the Abbotsford Supercharger. We'll see. Or maybe we'll stop at Hope. If we start at the 30% range, we will immediately get the optimal supercharger speed. See? So we immediately got above 100 kilowatts. So right now we're at 133. So this is optimal. So we arrived with around 28%, 29%. So now we're charging at the fastest possible speed. So let's look at the options for our next charging stop. Most likely we will just go to Hope, and if we go to Hope, this is 120 kilometers away. It shows that we will arrive with 1% with our current state of charge, which is not ideal. We'd like some sort of a buffer. So what I plan to do is do a stop in Hope, and I think we should be able to Let's see. We should be able to do that as our last charge. However, it might be more optimal for us to do one more supercharging stop, most likely within the city. So we can go to Surrey, but in Surrey it is an urban supercharger. You can see it has the 72 kilowatts max, versus if we go to Abbotsford, it has the V3 superchargers, which are up to 250 kilowatts max. Another option for us is we could go to the downtown Vancouver ones, but parking fees apply. I'll have to look these up. How much are they? But even if we have to pay for parking here, wow, this is busy. 8 stalls, 1 stall available. I think we should be able to make it nicely to Abbotsford.
Welcome back to Jeopardy! I love being surrounded by smart people, so watching our players over the last couple of days has been great. Pat Hanrahan and Ed Catmull of this CGI animation company won the Turing Award, called the Nobel Prize of Computing. Sebastian?
Pixar?
What is Pixar?
Yes.
Business for 800.
Ford Motors.
We're here now at the Hope Supercharger. So we currently have 36% range. All we need to do is make it to, let's see, Abbotsford, or we can go straight to Surrey.
Yeah.
Right? But is it close?
Yeah.
But you know, it's slower.
Okay.
If we head to Abbotsford, you know, we actually can make it now. You see, we have 5%, so we just need a little bit more buffer to get there. So this is just going to be a short stop. Green means good. So we should be ramping up to the optimal supercharging speed. Yeah, it says a short stop of 10 minutes. So, see, we are north of 100 kilowatts. So that means we are, wow, that is fast. You see how quickly that ramped up to almost 140 kilowatts. Okay. So, what I like about our car, even though it's older and it doesn't have as much range as the newer Model X's, is that, look, this number is always 0. So we are grandfathered into the free supercharging for life. So what does that mean? That means we're gonna keep this car until the wheels fall off. And if the wheels fall off, then we'll probably get new wheels. So that's the benefits of being an early adopter. So we're just gonna supercharge for a little bit, get that buffer. Maybe we'll see this at what, 20%, so that once we arrive at Abbotsford,
The washrooms. The washroom in Abbotsford.
oh, you like the washrooms in Abbotsford? Okay, either or. So we can hit Abbotsford for the washrooms. So let's see how long it will take. So 88 kilometers, 1 hour, 1 minute. So around an hour away. Is that okay, love? That's fine? Alright. So in around 10 minutes, we should be leaving. And actually, yeah, we'll see. I don't think we need to add too much. So now if I look at our screen here, you can see it's 454. So it's already approximately 12 hours since we left Chestermere. And mind you, Chestermere is already east of Calgary. So we actually have to drive around 45 minutes to cross to the western border of Calgary. So let's say it's around 11 hours to get from the west end of Calgary to Hope, even with the construction delays and charging. That's pretty good. I think we should be okay now. We added 8 kilowatt hours, so that's pretty much our buffer. So by the time we get there, and by the time we start charging, we'll also be in the top speed of the chargers. Off we go. Made it now to Abbotsford, BC, and we have 16% battery at the supercharger. This is nice, it's covered. When I drive to Vancouver, I consider Abbotsford to be, you know, kind of like the gateway to the metro area, because you have Abbotsford, and this is on the west end, and then you have Langley, and then Surrey next. And technically I would say once you hit Langley, that is the beginning of the, you know, metropolitan Vancouver area. So you can see here there is some supercharging options inside. There's Surrey, and then you have a couple in Vancouver. You have another one in Richmond, depending on where you're staying. We're staying in North Vancouver, so whatever we're gonna charge here would be our charge overnight and for tomorrow. So what could I say? From Chestermere to Abbotsford, it took us 13 hours, and you saw all the construction delays. That's not bad. Here are the washrooms. They're next to the Purdy's chocolates. We are now back in our car. We have 76%. We're charging really slow now because it's in the upper range, but you know what? We're not in any rush. We ordered food for pickup in Vancouver, so we're gonna have vegan pizza house. So I ordered vegan lasagna and also vegan pizza. We are at 80%. Time to go. So we are now crossing the Port Mann Bridge, and how fast should you drive in Vancouver? Speed limit 90. I'm doing 115 kph, and I'm being passed by a panel van. Woo! We are now approaching our takeout place for the evening, and usually crossing the Port Mann Bridge should signify the end of this video. So currently 6:56. It's just under 14 hours to do the 1,000-kilometer journey from Chestermere, Alberta, which is on the east side of Calgary, crossing the entire city of Calgary, and then making it across the Rocky Mountains through lots of construction traffic and including all the charging without peeing in any bottles. There. So I guess that's reasonable. A 14-hour driving day. Probably if you were in a gas car, you maybe would have saved an hour tops. That should conclude today's video. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Love, go ahead.